Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon to everybody. I am Prof. Azmi B Mohd Shariff. I'm the director of the Institute of Contaminant Management, University Technology Petronas Malaysia. And this university is under one of the university under the National Oil Company of Malaysia, Petronas. My title of presentation is Process Safety in Industrial Revolution 4.0. Okay, and in the institute, we have one center called that Center of Advanced Process Safety, looking more on the process safety matters. And we are doing a lot of research, consultancy, and also training for the local and international. Right. And I would like to thank you to the Jordanian International Chemical Process Safety conference organizer for inviting me for this speech. Okay, before I start my presentation directly for the process safety, let us look at directly on the in the revolutions based on this industry. It was started in 18th century, basically with the first revolution, focusing more on the mechanization of the manufacturing. Okay, manufacturing, and this is where the introduction of the steam and water power, and it was really a breakthrough that they be able to revolutionize the manufacturing industry, then make the speed 8 times more than the normal process by using the steam technology. And the example of that train in this vehicle, but basically that make the train move faster than before. And then they move from this first industrial revolution to the second revolution. And in this second revolution is where the invention of the mass production through the assembly lines using the electrical power. Okay, then we can see the possibility to mass produce on the products such as motor cars. So that how that moved from one revolution to the first revolution to the second revolution, and then come the third revolutions in 70s, looking on basically partial automations or semi-automation of the production lines using electronics, programmable logic controllers that utilizing the robotics in order to speed up the process. And currently, or this decade, basically we are at the Industrial Revolution 4.0, focusing more on autonomous, on the decision making of the cyber physical system using machine learning through cloud technology. So this is really a breakthrough that make the people work autonomously, like what we are doing here. I'm in Malaysia, you are anywhere in the world, that allow us to communicate through this kind of conference. All right. So the question is how the process safety should take advantage of this current technology available in order to make sure and control the issue of the industrial accidents. So what actually the drivers of this industry 4.0? Basically, the term the industry 4 is derived from the German the high-tech strategy from German government in 2011 for promoting the computerization of the manufacturing in this new area. Okay. In this new area, digital manufacturing, digitization, digital play a crucial role. And we basically have identified 9 drivers that make this technology successful in this Industrial Revolution 4.0. So what are those 9? Basically, these are on the advanced manufacturing solutions. Advanced manufacturing means that autonomous cooperation, industrial robots, and so on. Additive manufacturing that allow for the 3D printing, augmented reality that allow us to make the real cases into our digital information, simulation work, horizontal and vertical integration that allow the data integration and data transfer in easier way. Industrial internet through the network and machines and product. We have cloud to manage the huge data that previously that we not be able to do that. And cyber securities that we can ensure the data be able to manage securely in this level. And more important is on the big data analytics, that full evaluation of data is available through this. So by having these all 9 drivers in one for this industry 4.0, that's allow us basically move forward to a better to ensure a better safety in process plant. In order to be able to utilize this kind of technology, we have to understand the 2 terms that we use in this Revolution 4 is about what it means by digitization and what is meaning by the digitalization, right? So what is the digitalization? Digitalization is the use of the digital technology to improve the business, the tool itself. So this is a fundamental requirements in order to allow our business or processes to do. So for example, we have like a brick and mortar business before, like we have this supermarket, big supermarket, that currently we can change to the e-commerce platform through like eBay, to the digitalization. Still we'll be able to get the product through this kind of technology. And digitization is the transformation of your information, existing non-digital process into the digital one. That means we have to translate and transform whatever information or data into in the digital platform. So let's say, for example, using cloud-based accounting system to replace a paper filing system in a bank, for example. So this is one of the example that we do. So another example is like we using the mail or email instead of typewriters to the Google Docs. So these are the different or the meaning of digitization and digitalization. So what will be the expected advantage? Of course, with this kind of technology, basically we have the flexibility in doing our work or business, the speed that go beyond our expectation, the productivity that increase, even though we are not really need to be on the directly work using our hand. Quality will be more perfect because we put that into a digitalization method to the real time production. And of course, product competitions will be better compared to the in terms of the cost and time. So let's look at, we understand about the revolution, we understand about the technology and how to relate with the process safety. And we understand that in the process safety, we have many accidents happen worldwide, previously and even now. Recently, it was the accident in Indonesia just a few days ago, okay, in Indonesia that involved the refinery plant. So we have already put a lot of the comprehensive safety program in order to manage, to prevent, and to mitigate this kind of accident. But accidents still happen. Look at the stages that we do in order to make sure the safety. We started with during the R&D stage, conceptual engineering. We have also safety process during the basic engineering, detail engineering, equipment procurement and construction, commissioning, operations until the end of the life of our plant. Okay, we put all everything, but we still, that thing is using our common system. So why don't we take the advantage of the current digital or industrial 4.0. So if we are clear, I will understand what will be the requirement. In this case, I put the perspective. For the process safety, our objective is basically to prevent and mitigate the possibility of this accident. So if you have chemical process, everybody know that there are three major accidents always happen in industry or in a process plant. There are toxic release, explosion, and fire. And we put that clearly on the strategies of the process safety system or layer of protections there through inherent safety by eliminating and reducing the hazard without add-on safety system. And the passive safety is a safety attribute to the design itself, like the thickness of the process vessel. And then the third is we add another one in the safety systems, add-on safety system, the instrument, in order to avoid consequence due to process deviations, that we call it active. And then on the procedure, we put that the operating procedures, rules, and management, especially to manage human factors. So we have all that kind of strategy and objective. Okay, this is our traditional way to do that. So how we be able to take the advantage of this industrial 4.0 revolution into the perspectives of process safety? So in order to do that, we try to understand what would be the similarity between the process safety and also the cluster or industrial 4.0. And industrial 4.0, on my left-hand side, you can see that I lift down the keyword that normally used in this information and communication technologies, like automation, cloud computing, data mining, genetic algorithm, human factors, IT, and so on. There is a whole list there. And basically, when we align tractor process safety, only few that really align with requirement of process, like automation, human factors, integration, maintenance, optimization, and simulation. That is something. So at least there are few keywords that we can use, or which is direct related, and there are few other keywords that we want to take advantage from this keyword from the cluster industry 4.0. And if you look at the potential connection between this, like in our case of process safety, we have numbers of important key processes in processes, like process safety management, risk assessment, risk analysis, risk management, process hazard analysis, safety culture, inherent safety. That are all basically be able to basically utilize the term that available in the world. So we can use the perspective using the big data and analytics requirements in our process safety process, cloud, industrial internet, cyber security, and so on. So that is a potential, and the only thing is how to do it. So let's look at on the example here on process safety management. Everybody understand that under the process safety management, there are pillars for PSM. Under the process safety management, we know about our commitment to process safety and understanding hazard, actually how to control hazard, managing risk, how to go there and learn from experience. And from this, if you look, selected few elements in risk-based process safety. We look at the commitment, we are talking about process safety information and employee participation. Understanding hazard, looking on the process safety information as well, together the process hazard analysis, and how to manage risk. We are looking on the operating procedures, hot work permit, mechanical integrity, contractors training, management of change, and so on. And learn from experience is through the incident investigation and compliance of audit. So these are the element that we normally refer to, which is also available in OSHA for the element of PSM2. So there is a link between the two. So we understand this process safety management, how we can link into the industry 4.0 to take the advantage of this industry 4.0. I mean, through the information and communication technology. So as you understand that the one that we want to look at is that is the information on process safety management. The first part is we want to digitize the information so that we can transfer to the digital tool. So in order to that, understanding of the PSM is very important, starting with understanding the set of guidelines and regulations available in the PSM. There are many issues contributing to the effective implementation of PSM, and more this like human error that we have to be aware on that thing. In this context, the digitization of PSM can be more effective, okay, to overcome the shortcomings. For the effective PSM, the element process safety information as the should be the heart to all in order to make sure that effective digitization of PSM is of paramount importance. So if we go very detailed about PSI, what to digitize? Basically in OSHA requirement, it's already detailed out the requirement. So we should thank you to those who's contributing to identify this kind of information, so we can directly look at in detail and the requirements, and then we need that information to be in. And of course, each industry have also their own unique data that just can add on within this three important process safety information element is under the chemical, process technology, and process equipment. As an example, in the chemical, the requirement data based on OSHA is like toxicity information, permissibility exposure limit, physical data, reactivity data, corrosive data. So there's a long list there, but we can also have a unique data as add-on to this requirement of chemical. Similarly, like process technology and process equipment too. I need to skip because the time is not on my side now. All right. So in order to better digitizing the information, we need to go a little bit detailed in order to translate that into the actual information according to the flowchart. If you look at on the flowchart, the requirement in order to develop we have to develop the PSI system first before we have that system. Or you already have the PSI, but how we be able to organize it properly? So in the OSHA, basically, is provide information, and also for the risk-based information from the CCPS also available this information. So in order to develop the PSI, there is a code, the standard provided. So first we develop PSI, and then we have to, if it is already available, then we can update and review our processes, hazardous chemical processes. And then we can review also inside that process technology, and we can also process equipment. So three areas cover: chemical, process technology, and process equipment on the process safety information. And then if everything is complete, how we want to put into the perspective. So in order to put the perspective, it's easier. Like say, for example, if you look at our plan, like a PNID, when you want to include the information, okay, you follow like a PNID where you start from the feed until to your product. So if you look at that, if you use the PNID, your platform, then you can choose this PNID node. And from the node, you can choose what equipment and stream. And from within this, basically, we look at what data is required based on the chemical, process technology, and process equipment. And then we can conduct and update PSI accordingly. So it should be very straightforward and simple because we have guidance through this kind of standard, but understanding is very, very important. So how we translate to the digitization opportunity in this case? So we need to look at on which one we can digitize, which one is actually we not really need to digitize. In this part, if you look at on the process, if we start in the using the PNID, there are a manual part that we have to decide, okay, where to start, where to end, how to divide the node, and so on. But the simple way is if we follow the heads-up technique, a heads-up knob, that should be sufficient in order to develop this PSI. And from there, basically, we can digitize the information based on the flowchart that shown here as an example. Okay. And then from this part, I mentioned that how we digitize, and then from this digitization, we can transform the digital information, the tool. And we can do this also for the others like PHA, OP, operating procedure, hot work permit, mechanical integrity, and so on. So this will give the benefit to us through the quick automatic studies or survey, update the changes automatically, quick respond to the changes, to get the information. That means information available at all time, without need to go through the filing and system. If we have the Excel filing also, we still need time. So we need to, how do we can digitize that for more efficient into our data. So this can allow us to do that quick and live assessment on that, because this is we are talking about automation and automatic. Okay, and with that, using that, we can avoid human errors, especially on the data filing and also data sourcing, to find the data, and that can avoid the issue of accident due to the unavailability of data within the system. So if you look at that process safety management industry, the direct application 4.0 drivers for process safety management are like industrial internet cybersecurity, and these two drivers could help to avoid or minimize this accident and prevent the future loss through easy access to the collection of data from process and object. And therefore, the potential software hazard can be identified and known in order to alert the workers. Other technology drivers like big data, analytics, and cloud will be beneficial in order to analyze, allowing a large amount of data to be stored, referred for planning, monitoring. So you are controlling all the data and the whole plan in your hand, on one system, easier to access through this advancement of the technology. Okay, I have another example. I think I want to skip this example because I have only 25 minutes on presentation. Okay, I will go through directly to general impact of this industry 4.0 impact for process safety. Sorry that I have to skip the example on inherent safety. So potential impact on industry 4.0 technological drivers relevant to process. You can see that the big data, even though the advantage we can get the unlimited data, reduce uncertainty, improve capacity, but the drawback is we have to make sure and the data is reliable. That is the issue. We can put all the data when you transfer. It can be the data also is not incorrect. So we need to come up with certain selection criteria in order to screen the right data, and we have to make sure also the confidential data is be given the priority. In terms of the internet and cybersecurity, there is an improved interaction between equipment, machinery, and detectors of anomalies, improved process monitoring and control, remote monitoring and control, but the issue is drawback is about the network reliability. You know that our network sometimes up and down depending on the area. So if we have a very good network, that should be an issue. And the cyber security is another issue that we have to make sure that we have protections of our cyber. I think there are a few more examples. I think because the chairman only provided me 25 minutes of my presentation, I think I would like to conclude my presentation. The future opportunity of Industry 4.0 in process safety, you can see that process safety in era Industry 4 require industrial standard and guidelines to ensure safe operation process plan with the fear of cybersecurity issues. Along with data analytics, smart handling of this data is necessary to take the full advantage of this opportunity. The design, fabric, operation process plan need to be upgraded in context of Industry 4.0. We are talking about autonomous operation. We have to go for it. Do not afraid. So then we have to look at on this for the inherently safer and sustainable process plan to avoid recurrence of accidents. And finally, the future workers require human machine internet skill and capability. Sorry that I've do that kind of speed in order to complete my presentation. And with that, I would like to thank you very much to listen to my presentation.